humans have this tendency to underestimate the number of solutions that we have. So we always think that we have less solutions available to us than in reality. So if you think that you have 0 solutions to a particular problem, then in reality you actually have 3 solutions. If you think that you have 3 solutions to your problem, well, in reality you actually have 7 of them. And this tendency for you and me to underestimate the number of solutions available for us is worsened when we're in a mental state of panic, stress, anger, or sadness, which are normal reactions that you may have when you're faced with a problem. So you have a problem and you cannot think logically because you're stressed. This stress prevents you from thinking clearly and finding any solutions. So an effective way that I found to get rid of that stress is to imagine the worst possible case scenario that can happen. And you might ask me, Richard, isn't that going to make me more stressed? Hear me out. Once you have a clear picture in your mind of the worst possible case scenario and you accepted that it might happen, then you will probably visualize in your head what you will do next. And because of that, you'll be less stressed since you already know what's the worst thing that you can expect. You're ready for it and you know how you will react. You know what you will do in that case. Now that we got rid of the stress, you're able to think more logically. So you know what's the worst case scenario. You have a clear picture of what's the worst thing that can happen. Now, I'm gonna ask you, how could you make this a little less painful? So now a couple of ideas will start coming into your mind. And those solutions, those ideas will be a little better than the worst case scenario, which is great. It's progress. Now I will ask you again, okay, how could you make this even better? And now you will start having other solutions. And you continue to ask yourself, how can you make the solution better than the previous one? And you continue this process until you get to the solution that is the best for you, the solution that will yield the best possible case scenario. Also, sometimes you'll be faced with situations where you will think that there's only 2 options. And often than not, life doesn't work in a way where you either have this or this. Usually, you have something in between. And this is where your creativity comes into place. And creativity is not always about creating something new, but it's more about taking existing things and mixing them in such a way where it creates something unique. So you have option 1 and you have option 2, and you need to choose in between them. But you don't really want to make the decision because you don't want to choose one and reject the other. So what can you do? What you can do is you take parts of option 1 and you take parts from option 2 and you mix them together in such a way that it creates a unique solution that will be the most convenient for you. And that will be the third option. Lastly, sometimes it will be better for you to put your ego aside and ask for other people's opinion and listen to them with an open mind. If you want to have a better and more helpful and more authentic solutions from them, well, you could ask your friends something like, hey Chad, if you were faced with this particular problem, what would you do? And you just listen to them. And after asking so many people this simple question of what would you do if you're faced with this problem, well, you will start to get a lot of feedback. You will see how the amount of solutions available for you will increase. And then you will simply choose what is the solution that is the best for you. Or when we talk about creativity, you might even combine 3 ideas together to create a unique solution that will be even better. But you might never find this perfect solution if you decide to just not ask other people's opinion. If you try to do everything on your own, it will be shooting yourself in the foot. Not always, but sometimes it's better to seek other people's opinion and feedback because they will give you another perspective. It will make you think in other ways. And in that moment, this is where new ideas come into life. All right, I hope this was helpful. I will see you in the next video.